I'm sorry, Rylie. Things got out of hand. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I thought I could count on you, Kinley. I mean, I expect others to pick on me, but not you. You're my best friend. Or at least I thought you were.
I am your best friend. I just had a momentary lapse in judgment.
Hey, what's going on? Are you okay, Rylie? I've never seen you this upset. What happened?
Let me guess. Rylie tried to steal your boyfriend.
No, Alex, it's not like that.
Oh man, you stole Riley's boyfriend.
Oliver, Alex,
Can we just have a few minutes to work this out? We'll see you at Beach Club, okay?
Come on, Oliver. Besides, I seriously hate drama, and that right there is why.
I heard that, Alex. You're not helping things.
I do hope they can work it out, though. Friendship is too important to just throw away when you get into a fight over something. Knowing Rylie and Kinley, I'm sure this is just some big misunderstanding. At least, I hope that's all it is.
Rylie, listen, I'm sorry. It's just that it was my perfect time to get a laugh. And you know me, sometimes I say things without thinking about how they'll affect someone else.
But you're supposed to be my best friend. How could you join in on someone teasing me just to get a laugh?
Maybe you should just stop worrying about everything being so perfect and have fun sometimes. Maybe then people wouldn't make fun of you all the time.
Ouch. That really hurt. I'm beginning to see how you really feel, Kinley.
There I go again, open mouth, insert foot. I'm so sorry, Rylie. I should not have said that.
Listen, Kinley, you're my best friend. I'm not gonna throw that away over me getting my feelings hurt. But can we please talk about this another time? I'll meet you at Beach Club. I just need some time alone.
So what's up, fellas? How y'all feeling? Hey, Rylie. Good to see you again. Why the long face? That is not like you.
I don't really want to talk about it.
Hi, Kinley.
Does anybody want to tell me what's going on? I know I'm not the only one that feels the tension in the room right now.
Let's just get this out of the way. Rylie and Kinley had some sort of argument earlier, and I'm sure they're going to work it out. They just need some time.
Thanks, Oliver. Can we go ahead and start now?
Okay. All right. Given the current situation between the girls...
Jason!
I'm sorry.
What Jason was trying to say is our character word for this week is forgiveness.
Forgiveness? Really?
Did you just make that up?
Actually, no. She didn't make that up. It really is forgiveness.
I am learning that God's timing is always perfect. It seems everyone, me included, always has something to learn from our character word.
I think you're right, Oliver. God does not make mistakes.
Now, who can tell me what forgiveness means?
I always hear forgive and forget. So maybe like going on as something didn't happen and not holding a grudge?
That's part of it. Who else has an idea?
Like to let someone off the hook and act like they didn't do anything wrong?
Oliver and Alex. If I combine both of you guys' answer, it will be spot on to our definition. Forgiveness means to pardon or release someone from the consequences of a wrong and not holding a grudge.
That's right. And God sets the example for us about forgiveness. Because He has shown forgiveness to me, we should show forgiveness to others.
I also think forgiveness involves a choice.
How so?
Well, when you forgive someone, you have to choose to forgive them.
That is 100% accurate, Rylie. My mom told me once that even though that she grew up in a Christian home and had already made Jesus her forever friend, she didn't really understand forgiveness until she and my dad were dating.
Oh boy, he must have really blew it, huh? Did she ask which outfit made her look better?
Alex, come on, man.
Nope, she didn't. But when my mom and dad were in their first big fight before they got married, my dad told my mom that he was wrong for what he had done and that he knew he hurt her. Then he said he was sorry and asked my mom to forgive him.
And they lived happily ever after.
Yep, until the next fight. Then at the next fight, my mom had brought up what my dad had done in the first fight.
So basically, your mom didn't really forgive your dad?
Exactly. But then my dad said to my mom, "But I asked you to forgive me, and you said that you did."
Man, that'll preach right there. Come on, somebody.
So your parents are still married?
Actually, yes, they are. And that lesson about forgiveness has stayed with me from an early age. Anytime my brother and I would fight, it always involved more than just "I'm sorry" and moving on with my life. It always involved something more than that and a change in my heart.
Well, what if someone says they're sorry, but then they add a big excuse at the end of the sorry? I think that means that they're not really sorry.
Hey, listen. Only God knows people's hearts and intentions. That is not our place to judge.
Jordan, basically your dad did 3 things right. First, he admitted he had wronged your mom. Then he acknowledged he had hurt her. And then he apologized.
That's right, except there's one more. After he apologized, he asked Jordan's mom for forgiveness.
And then Jordan's mom had to make a choice to forgive, just like Rylie said.
I have a question. So, when you choose to really forgive, it's settled. In the past, I mean. Meaning that you can't bring it up to throw in their face the next time you have a disagreement, right?
Right. My mom says that sometimes she hurt so much that she couldn't forgive my dad right away.
And what did she do then?
Obviously, she eventually forgave him. They're still married.
Actually, that's a good question, Rylie. Because we're all humans who hurt, even the people that we love. Sometimes forgiving is really hard. But eventually, God helped erase the pain that my mom was feeling and helped ease the grudge so that she could really forgive my dad.
Right, and you know, because God has shown us forgiveness, we should show forgiveness to others.
But did your mom really forget?
I think it's hard to forget, but true forgiveness is not holding the grudge against somebody in the future.
Jason, what's the definition you said at the beginning?
Ooh, I like this kind of question. Listen, forgiveness is to pardon or release someone from the consequences of a wrong and not to hold a grudge.
I think I already understand forgiveness a lot more, especially after you telling us about your parents, Jordan.
Me too. And I'm just glad my family doesn't hold grudges against me. I kind of had a track record of getting in trouble and hurting people.
Well, Alex, if you keep coming to Beach Club, I think that track record is going to drastically change in the other direction.
I love your positivity, Oliver. Man.
Well, you've given me a lot to think about. And I mean a brain full of things.
I think that's a good thing.
Hey, does anyone have a pen?
I sure do. Here you go. I'm taking notes. Come on.
I want to make sure I can remember the 3 things. What were they again?
4 things. Hold on. I'm going to write that down too.
And I just realized all these steps begin with A. First, you admit you're wrong, taking responsibility for your actions.
Second, you acknowledge that you hurt the other person.
And then apologize and say you're sorry?
That's right, Alex. Then the final one is to ask for forgiveness. Oh.
Hey everyone, Pastor Mark is back again, and I can't wait to talk with you about our Bible connection for this week, and it takes place once again in a wilderness area. Our story can be found in the book of Numbers. Numbers is in the Old Testament, and it's the 4th book of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Numbers chapter 21, starting in verse 4. Now that's page 168 of your kids' Beach Club Study Bible. Okay, let me give you some background. Moses was the leader of the Israelite people. With God's help, he led the people out of Egypt where they had been slaves for 400 years. God had a good land for them to live in, but the people disobeyed God. They refused to enter into the good land God had promised to give them, and so God punished their lack of faith by having them wander through the wilderness instead. Their lack of faith and disobedience was sin, and sin has consequences. Well, Moses taught the people all of God's laws, like the Ten Commandments. But the Israelites had a big problem. They disobeyed God and His laws. Once again, the people suffered many consequences for their disobedience, and some of the consequences were very serious. However, God still loved them and provided everything they needed, even forgiveness for their sins. In our story today, the Israelites got very upset and complained against Moses and God. They sinned, and God punished their sin by sending fiery serpents among the people that bit many Israelites, and they died. However, God provided an escape. He told Moses to make a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. If the people who were bit by the snakes would look up to that pole, they would live. It may have seemed silly to them, but they had to do what God said if they wanted God's healing. God used this serious consequence to show the people that they had wronged Him by being disobedient. The Israelite people realized two things: how much they had sinned and that they needed God to forgive them. Because of God's great love for them, He offered them forgiveness and He healed them. Now, sometimes we think that consequences are bad or unfair, but consequences are here to teach us the importance of doing what is right and good. So, for instance, let's think about school. What is one of the consequences of breaking a rule at school? Well, you might get sent to the principal's office, right? Or maybe worse. What about at home? What is one of the consequences of disobeying your parents? I know what you're thinking. Get your phone taken away, right? Well, what about with your friends? What is a consequence when you hurt a friend? That's right. You may end up losing a friendship over something really silly. Yes, sin has consequences, but God makes it possible for us to be forgiven of our sins. Because God has forgiven us, we should show forgiveness to others. Now, just like Moses lifted up a bronze serpent in the wilderness and everyone who looked at it was saved, did you know that Jesus was lifted up on a cross for us? It's true. In fact, Moses' serpent on a pole was an illustration of what would later happen to Jesus. Jesus suffered a terrible death as He was lifted up on a wooden cross and crucified, taking on Himself the consequences of the world's sin. He died for all of mankind. But He didn't stay dead. He rose again the third day, so that everyone who chooses to follow Him as their forever friend will be saved. The Bible tells us that you will be forgiven of sin and become a follower of Jesus when you admit your sin and ask God to forgive you, when you believe that Jesus is the Son of God and that He died for our sins and rose from the dead, and when you turn away from your sin and choose to follow Jesus. I hope that if you haven't already, you will make Jesus your forever friend real soon, even today.
The memory link is found in the book of John. Now, John is in the New Testament, and it's the fourth book: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
John chapter 12, verse 32. If you're having trouble, just let me know. It's on page 1168 of your Kids Beach Club study Bible if you're still struggling.
All right, has everybody found it?
Yeah.
Now, let's read it together.
John 12:32. And if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself. John 12:32.
I have no idea what this means.
Me either. And why is it written like that? I mean, I don't know anyone who talks like that.
I get it, man, but the Bible was written a long time ago, and a lot of the newer translations use Old English, so it's kind of hard to understand sometimes.
Just so it makes sense, think of it like this. Jesus is saying, if I am lifted up, if Jesus is lifted up, then that will draw people to him, to Jesus.
I'm still pretty confused.
Okay, think of it like this. If there was a crowd of people gathered around and you were trying to find someone, the most important person in the crowd, what would be the best way for you to see them?
Get on someone back so that you're higher up and you can see them?
No, that may help you see better, but definitely won't help you find the person that you're looking for. I think you would have to somehow get the person that you're looking for on someone's back or lifted up so you can see them better.
Exactly. That's exactly what this verse is saying. Now, think about the verse. Jesus is saying, if we lift him up.
If we lift him up instead of ourselves, more people will see him and come to know him.
Yes, Rylie. The more we let Jesus shine through us, the more people see Jesus lifting him up instead of ourselves.
And that includes practicing forgiveness and all of our character traits. Let's look at the verse again together.
John 12:32. And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself. John 12:32.
Jesus wants all people to be drawn to him, but they have to see him.
They have to see him in us, right?
Huh.
Well, I know that when I chose to make Jesus my forever friend, he really started to work on me. I could have taken credit for all the changes that were happening to me, but I know the real reason is that Jesus was working in my life to change me.
So, like what you just said, that's what the verse means about lifting Jesus up, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I know it's worded a bit different than the way that we're used to talking, but yes, basically, lift Jesus up, not yourself, so more people can see him and know him well.
I think I get it now. It's not like I'm going to memorize all those words in that specific order, but I definitely got the meaning down.
It's a tricky one, that's for sure. But when I was first memorizing verses, I always liked to memorize them to a rhythm or a tune. And we have the best beatmaster ever in Jason.
What's the reference?
John 12:32.
And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself.
John 12:32.
Okay, all of us ready. All right, what is it?
John 12:32.
And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself.
John 12:32.
Listen, Rylie, I'm sorry for what I said, and I was wrong for making fun of you. I understand if I hurt you by what I did. I can't take back my words, but I wish I could. Please, Rylie, you're my best friend. Will you?
Yes, I'll forgive you, Kinley. You're my best friend, too. I don't want this to come between us. Yes, you did hurt my feelings, but I'm going to choose to forgive you, just like what we learned about earlier.
Thank you. I have been so upset after I figured out how badly I had hurt you, and I didn't mean to give excuses.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but did you guys forgive each other?
Yes, Oliver, I've forgiven Kinley.
I'm going to have to memorize these 4 A's. They're like the perfect recipe for getting things back on track with your best friend.
I'm just glad that all the drama is over now.
Drama? The only drama you're going to experience is when we annihilate you in our Make It Stick game.
Right. Oh, I mean right. I don't know about complete annihilation, but we're going to do our best. And Oliver, thank you for being my friend and caring about my feelings.
You're welcome, but that doesn't mean we're going easy on you. Come on, Alex.
That's right, boys and girls. It's time for
Make It Stick!
And now, here's our host, Steve Rylie.
Hello, everyone. Today's Make It Stick game, we're going to play popcorn. Pretty obvious, right? Now, most of us have played this game. If you haven't, because you're new, the rules are simple. Just like Jesus needed to be lifted up, you have to lift yourself up in order to answer the question. But, rule number 2, you only can answer the question after I ask the question and after I say the word popcorn. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Now, there's one other rule. The other rule is you're by yourself. There are no teams. This is an individual game. So let's see who the winner will be. Question number 1. What is today's character word?
Popcorn.
That's the game we're playing. We are playing. Popcorn. Yes, Rylie.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. That is it. Question number 2. Who was the leader of the Israelite people? Pow! We got this answer. Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yes.
Moses.
Yes, that is correct. Question number 3. How did the Israelite people sin? Popcorn. How did the Israelite people sin? Yes, ma'am.
They argued with God?
The judges say that is correct. You got the answer correct. Question number 4. What was the consequence for the people's sin? Paparazzi. Pizza. Popcorn. Yes, sir, Oliver. Is not the answer. Is not the answer.
Poisonous snake.
Poisonous snake is the answer. Yes, you got it correct. Next question here. How did God offer forgiveness to people bitten by the snakes? Popcorn. Yes, sir.
Brown snakes.
Brown snakes. No, that is not correct.
I think I got it.
Yes, ma'am.
Bronze snake.
Bronze snake is the correct answer. Bronze snake, take a seat, please. In which book of the Bible was Pastor Mark's lesson? Popcorn. Woo! The judges says, Alex.
Okay, Numbers.
That is correct. That is correct. Next question. Since God has forgiven us, what are we able to do also? Popcorn. Oh, the judges say Kinley.
We can also forgive others.
We can forgive others. Yes, that is the correct answer. Good job, everyone. Now, all of you will be rewarded with, you guessed it, popcorn to share. Hey! Yes, popcorn. Woo! We'll see you next time Hey, everyone, tell me this. Have you had a good time this week at Beach Club?
Yeah. Let's just say that things are going so much better.
Yes, and I'm so glad Rylie and Kinley worked things out. It was a little awkward there for a while.
I agree, but the advice from Jordan's parents really helped me. You know, the 4 A's. It seemed only fitting to test them out on Rylie, since she always gets straight A's in school anyway.
I think those would even work on me, and I don't even know what an A looks like.
I'm just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're just harassing me in good fun.
You know it.
So, how did the game go?
Yes, what game did you play this week?
We played popcorn.
Oh, I love that game. It is such a classic.
And we got a pretty sweet prize. We all get to share that bucket of popcorn.
How have we been doing on our Hang 10 challenge? Remember, your challenge every week.
Should you choose to accept it?
Yes, should you choose to accept it, is to spend 10 minutes a day with God, reading the Bible and praying. Remember, that is 10 minutes every single day.
I'm doing my best, but I have to say that when things went south with Kenley, I was really down in the dumps and missed my daily time with God.
Rylie, what you got to know is when I'm down in the dumps, what picks my spirits up most is having my daily time with God. He always gives me the right thing just when I need it most.
And when I need to hear it most, like the lesson on forgiveness.
Well, I guess I can thank Kinley and Riley's drama for
Alex!
I guess I can thank God's intervention because I learned a few things about forgiveness today, too.
I think we all did. And that's why I love Beach Club so much. God's timing is so perfect to help us learn a story from the Bible just when we need it most.
I totally agree, Oliver. Now, does anybody else have anything else to share?
Only that I'm glad to have my best friend back.
I never left. I just took a leave of absence for a bit, but I'm here and I'm not going anywhere.
You mean we're stuck with you two?
That's right, Alex. You're stuck with us.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Hands in, forgiveness on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgiveness!